CJ, I was out in the back and I realized that over the last year, we've only added like 3 new triggers.
Well, we're very particular about the triggers that we decide to bring in, right? Yeah, so we want to bring in only the best of the best.
Right. Well, I don't know if only the best of the best is really what we do, because we like to also run a gamut of having low-cost options and high-cost options. But these are the 3 kind of high-end-ish triggers that we've added over the last year or so. And what we've got is the greatest of all triggers. I'm not lying, that's the name of this. This is the GOAT from Ballistic Engineering. And then we've got the RAVE 535. This is from our good friends over at Rise Armament. And then the surprising one was Radian actually just put out a trigger in tandem with a company called Triggertech, of Triggertech Diamond fame, and that is called the Vertex. We just added that as well. So what do you say you and I talk about these triggers just a little bit, and then take them out of the boxes and install them on this trigger tester, and then actually test the pull weights of these triggers?
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah. So 2 of these are single stage triggers, and one of them
want to do the GOAT first?
Is the GOAT, and that is our only 2-stage trigger. It's got a 4-ounce take up. So this is the Ballistic Engineering GOAT. I think it's got an MSRP at like $279 or something is usually what they sit about, but it's a 2-stage trigger. But it's interesting because the first stage is only 4 ounces, and then it's adjustable from 1.25 to 2.5 pounds. Of course, obviously all 3 of these triggers are the drop-in cassettes, which is CJ's favorite because he doesn't like installing things with multiple pieces.
I don't like messing around with the multiple pieces.
You don't?
I don't know. Like, yeah, I just really don't. I like to have the drop-in, you know, nice and easy. So that's what this one gives you. And I really like this trigger. I know we included this one on a 6-arc build.
Yeah, we did just recently.
This is great for that precision work. You want to start throwing that guy in there?
Yeah. So you've actually got a little bit more time behind this trigger than I do. What do you think of it so far?
Well,
I'm gonna take this apart while we're talking.
It's got the 2-stage adjustable, which is nice, or just you can kind of adjust it anywhere from, I mean, what does the box say? Anywhere from like 2.5 or 1.5 to 2.5 pounds. 1.25 pounds the box says. So that's pretty light. So really, if you're thinking about some kind of, you know, precision-minded build, where you want that really light trigger pull. Precision's all about having minimal input into the gun, is what they say. So you want that kind of light trigger take up, or just that light input that you want. So having a 1.5 pound trigger is really, really nice, or 1.25 pound trigger. It's really, really nice.
Does this come with trigger springs?
No, it did not, actually. So you do want to get like anti-walk pins is ideally what you want. We'll see if any of these come with them, actually. It's not all that common to have pins included in these cassette-style triggers. I think me and you are really spoiled by the RAVE triggers, which usually come with anti-walk pins, especially like the RAVE 140. For the price, that thing's great when you get anti-walk pins included, but most people, you know, most trigger companies don't include anti-walk or pins of any kind because they...
Oh, that's right. This is the... This one came with an Allen wrench, right?
It did, yes. It came with an Allen wrench.
When you're doing this one, there's actually 2 small screws, I don't know if our GoPro's recording, that are in here that you have to tension down in order to actually get those pins to lock in place.
And this one went in without you having to remove the safety?
So we don't have a safety installed.
Oh, okay.
I don't want to
Don't want to take extra time. Right. Yeah, most of the time you have to take out the safety in order to, you know, install these correctly. But yeah, that's kind of a normal thing, except for the RAVE 535, which we will talk about a little bit later.
So one thing it's also worth noting on this is you actually have to rotate these screws out.
Okay.
Before you try to tighten it, because there's a little bit of Loctite in there.
Okay.
So you're not going to be able to get it to spin until you kind of break the seal on that.
Yeah.
But then once that's in there, you can see these pins. Yeah. If you don't tighten them, that's what they do.
I see.
So you'd have to tighten these down enough, otherwise your pins are just going to come out. This is also why I would recommend picking up some anti-walk pins instead of just your base mil spec pins.
Exactly. Anti-walk pins don't, and there's also anti-rotation pins as well, which prevent the trigger from kind of rotating that up and down.
You can actually see now that that is in there.
Oh,
you can see that I tightened it with this pin just out just a little bit, so it's not like a perfect. But so this is the Ballistic Engineering GOAT.
Sweet, yeah, awesome.
Let me give this a pull.
Absolutely.
And reset it. You can't feel that first stage on this, really.
No. How's the reset on that?
It's really, really fine-tuned, but
Yeah.
You can also adjust this one to get it a little bit lighter or a little bit heavier. I would probably max it out at 2.5, but
Yeah.
I know like Charlie's 6-arc that he uses for the more ELR, well not ELR, just kind of long range focus.
Yeah, yeah. It's hard to do ELR with any kind of AR, but I mean, you can use this in other situations as well.
What do you think of that thing? I like this trigger. It's very crisp, but it's also $279.99. It's one of the more expensive triggers you can get.
Ballistic Engineering, I mean, to their credit, like they're kind of a hidden gem. That's what I'm sort of describing them as in an upcoming video, but they're very much a hidden gem in terms of not many people know about them, but they make really high quality stuff. Right, they're definitely not one of the mainstream brands, I would say. Kind of more boutique-y, which I like. Let's put it under the tester.
Ooh, what's with our pistol grip here that's coming off?
Probably because we don't have a safety in there or whatever.
So that is 2.9. So this is sitting at that 2.5, and then you've got that 4-ounce take up.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's technically a 2-stage. You can really kind of feel that. And then that one, we had 2.3. Let me reset.
I remember being pretty unscientific here, too, because you're really supposed to, like, brace this down and then give it a pull.
How about you hold that down?
Yeah, sure.
We'll try to be a little bit more scientific.
There you go.
That one, we got 2.6.
Yeah. And that's going to change, too, depending on if you're higher on the tang or lower on the trigger as well. Sometimes if you're a bit lower on it.
Kind of go in the middle. This is a flat face trigger, so it's kind of hard to find like the exact purchase point every time. So we're at 2.9.
Yeah.
Let's try it down at the bottom. See if we get...
Cool.
See, down at the bottom,
1.2. Is that 1.27? Yeah, wow.
No, that's 1.12.
Oh, wow, man. Yeah, so this is a really good trigger. I enjoy this one. Again, if you're in the precision game, or I mean, we're kind of on the precision game, but if you're trying to do like long distance and you want that minimum input to the gun, everyone should be somewhat precision-minded. But if you're trying to do that long range stuff, I think this is one of the top candidates for me, especially after trying it on something like Charlie's gun, the 6-arc build. I mean, this is just a great trigger to have if you're trying to do long range stuff.
Especially
not many people know about it.
If you want the 2-stage, there is a little bit of take up. It's really hard to, I don't know if we're going to be able to show it here. We might be able to put some B-roll. But that's,
you can kind of hear it a little bit.
That's the take up.
Yeah, you can hear it just a little bit.
You can hear that here.
Yeah.
And then we reset it. You kind of get... And that's where our 4 ounces is at.
Right, right, right. Next up, guys, is the Rise Armament RAVE 535. This is one of my personal new favorites around here. Brand new this year. I think they announced it at SHOT Show this year. It has S7 tool steel internals. It's also at MSRP coming in at about $279.99. So it is, again, one of those higher tier, sort of more premium triggers. But whereas the most drop-in triggers don't give you anti-walk pins or anything like that, the big thing about this 535 is that it has built-in trigger pins, which is really, really nice, Josh. It makes installation even easier on a drop-in trigger, which, as you know, I'm super into. So you have that, and then the also kind of cool feature about it is, well, in terms of installation, you do not have to remove the safety, or at least the safeties that we've tried. There are all kinds of different, aftermarket safeties out there, so we haven't tried them with all of them. Some of those can get a little weird, but for all the safeties we've tried around here, you don't have to remove it. And then also you get optional trigger shoes or trigger bow options. So you have a flat face, and then you also have a curved trigger shoe option, curved trigger bow option. So that's really cool as well. These are magnetic, and as soon as you say magnetic, that might make you think, oh, this is really, it might just fall off or something like that. But the lockup on this thing is so nice that you're able to just put these on there and they're not going anywhere.
We're going to need to start over. We had a kerfuffle.
Oh, no.
We had a kerfuffle with the install.
What did you do?
Normally you're not going to be installing these in something that is a completely skeletonized receiver.
Oh, that's fair.
So you got to like drop it in just perfect.
Yep.
And then these screws kind of want to pop out. There we go. Now we're in. We don't got to cut that. Just make it look stupid, Nina.
Yeah, when you're installing it for the first time, it might get a little finicky, but when you know how to do it just a little bit, if you just play around with it a little bit, it usually goes in nice and neat. And the nice thing about it is, I think one of my friends pointed this out, was that because that there's no because sometimes you have to use anti-walk pins, or it's kind of recommended to use anti-walk pins with these drop-in triggers. If you have a really nice spray painted or Cerakoted or otherwise like nice designed item lower, those anti-walk pins can sometimes not blend in really well, and they can sometimes stick out unless you're Cerakoting those or something too. So with the built-in triggers, you don't have that that open recess or that the anti-walk pins covering up any of your nice designs. So it gives it much more of that standard sort of mil-spec trigger style look on the outside, but it still is easy to
You want to
install.
go flat or bowed?
I'm a huge flat face trigger guy.
Flat. These are all basically flat face triggers.
Yeah, I'm a huge flat face trigger guy. It's kind of up to people's preference. I know you like the traditional trigger bow option, the more curved option, but really, I really like Rise's trigger bows, honestly. I've tried them multiple times, multiple different ways, especially the Rave 140. That one is a really nice flat and curve to it. I think it's like a cool hybrid. But anyway, yeah, so that's probably one of my favorite trigger jobs. It also feels really good. Again, probably because of that S7 tool steel internals. You get the really nice lockup, really nice take up.
Rise, not Rave. Rise just makes really good triggers. If you guys are seeing us go like this on the camera, it's because there's a GoPro right here, and I'm trying to let you guys see everything.
Yeah.
So apologies if that looks silly. So let's go ahead and, this is a single stage, 3.5 pound trigger, like we already said. So we pull that. It's got a little bit more needed to pull it, but it's got a really soft reset, which is super nice.
Do you like soft resets? I really like firm resets that I know when it's ready.
The reset of this trigger, but normally I'm more of a Geisele fan. I like the SSAE, I think is what the trigger is called. Yeah. That's probably my all-time favorite trigger. One of these pins doesn't want to pop completely into place, but that I think is actually because our trigger tester has a little bit of a chew on it, but I can actually kind of show how this works on the GoPro. And then I'll reset it. Yeah. I don't know how that looked with my finger, but we'll do some extra B-roll footage after so you guys can see it. But yeah, this is, bar none, this is my favorite drop-in trigger. I'm more of a mil-spec. Like I said, I like Geisele triggers quite a bit. I don't want to lose our trigger pins here.
These, I mean, it's such a
smooth trigger.
Nice. Yeah, absolutely. Now, a lot of people, I think, are gonna kind of complain about the price, I think, a little bit. I mean, this is just a higher end trigger. It just feels different.
I think the original 535 is right around that price point.
I think so.
You get the slide and snap anti-walk pins for like an extra $10. Which is an interesting piece of technology. It's also one of the first times I've seen a trigger manufacturer do something like completely different than everyone else.
I would not be surprised if this totally revolutionizes a lot of drop-in solutions. I think a lot more trigger companies like, like a whole bunch more trigger companies are going to be taking this technology and using it in their own stuff.
I think there's a patent on that.
Yeah, I was about to say. I hope it's patented and stuff, but like I do expect this to make drop-in triggers even more drop-in.
Right, it'll be like the flow-through and suppressors.
Yeah.
Call it eco-flow.
Yeah,
or some other flow. You can't call it flow-through.
Yeah, I don't know. They'll call them like quick snap triggers or something. I don't know, whatever they'll call them.
This is called the slide and snap, which sounds like a really weird dance that your grandma might have done in the club back in the day.
Yeah, but I do enjoy this trigger a lot. It's pretty awesome.
Oh, I agree. One thing that we haven't touched on yet, and it's actually, this is going to apply across the board to all three of these triggers, is they've got the lifetime warranties for manufacturer defects. So if you have one of these triggers and you're experiencing an issue with it, reach out to whoever you got it from or the manufacturer. They're usually going to get you set up. In my experience, all three of these companies are super great about honoring that. So let's go ahead and hit the Rive with the trigger tester. So they say this is a 3.5 pound trigger pull. We're going to go ahead. Are you changing the shoe?
No, I'm just throwing it back on here. There we go. I was about to start uninstalling it, so we can talk about the next one.
So let's see. We're going to do one at the top, where it should be the heaviest.
Yeah, it's pretty heavy.
We got about a 4.4 at the very, very, very tippy top. We'll do one kind of down here in the middle.
Right there.
All right. So we got a 3.1 there, which is a little less than a 3.25, they say. And then we'll go down all the way at the very, very bottom, if I can get it around your finger. And that got us a 2.1.
2.14, yeah. So when they're, usually what's listed on the box is kind of that middle area where most people's finger kind of lands. Yeah. And they probably do, 10 or 20 or 100 different polls of that, and then they average it out.
Yeah,
but
there's probably, we should actually look this up, but there's probably like an industry standard test or something, is my bet. So maybe it's something we can look into and
Absolutely.
talk about. Maybe that's a whole other YouTube video. Like, how do they get the average pull weight?
Yeah, absolutely. But these, really nice premium trigger here. Okay, next one. This is the
actually,
newest one.
Yeah, I'm excited about this one. I don't have any time behind this one.
Sure.
Now, I know you spent a lot of time with the GOAT, and it is, in my opinion, and also definitely in yours and Charlie's, an underrated, kind of like a hidden gem. And then this, the Rev 535 is like my go-to drop-in trigger. If I'm doing a cassette trigger, it's probably going to be that if I have the budget for it. Otherwise, I'm going to go down to probably a RAVE 140. But what I like about those is that they're coming with the pins. Now this Vertex from Radian is not one that I have a ton of experience with, but holy smokes, just holding this thing.
Wow.
So we've got the Radian Vertex. Now this is a really well-made trigger. I don't have any experience shooting with it, but you guys just take a look at this thing. This thing is
That thing looks really nice.
very.
Those are two very high-end companies, two high-end brands. like you think of Triggertech, you think of Radian. It's like, ooh, wow, that's like. So the fact that they both collabed on this one is actually really exciting.
So it looks like I got to take this off to install this
Okay.
guy. So CJ, you want to talk about some of the special things on this trigger while I get it installed?
Yeah. So the MSRP on this one, guys, is about $229.95. It is actually one of the cheaper triggers on this table. Definitely, again, like all three of these,
Kinda
one of the more
weird
high-end
because
triggers.
It's Triggertech.
Yeah.
And it's Radian.
Yeah, you expect that
the
to be.
cheapest.
You expect that to be like well over $300. Like at times, the Triggertech, the Diamond, which is the two-stage adjustable one, that's usually well over. That's usually over $300. That's what I've seen. I think the prices kind of fluctuate, but this is also a 3.5 to 4 pound trigger. So again, kind of more of that. Not so much duty. I think duty's kind of like the 6 pound to like 9 pound triggers are usually two-stage, are usually kind of in there, but there's still single stage. So not as light as something like the Ballistic Engineering GOAT. So definitely not as precision focused or kind of long range focused. But I think
this one did that the GOAT didn't.
What's that?
It came with trigger pins.
Oh, well, that's nice.
So you still had to install it the same way. There's two snug nuts on the back.
Okay.
That's the technical term, the snug nut.
The snug
You have
nuts,
to
perfect.
Tighten these down, and that gets those pins kind of stuck in place so that they're not going anywhere. I'd probably still recommend picking up some anti-walk pins. They're not an expensive addition.
No, I don't think
I've
so.
actually-
Just for that extra peace of mind.
I've never pulled this trigger.
Is that right? Okay.
Let's see
So
what
then,
we do.
ooh, that sounds really tough.
It's the single stage.
Okay.
It's interesting.
Okay.
I like it though. It's got a nice reset.
Does it feel like Radian?
Does it feel like Radiant? It feels like Triggertech.
Let's see. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, I do always wonder because Triggertech is usually the kind of the mastermind behind Trigger. So I do wonder how much of the collaboration was taking place. Oh yeah, that is interesting.
Yeah, so this is an 1144 carbon steel bow, and it's got a bunch of S7 tool steel and the hammer, and then the aluminum housing on the cassette itself. So
Yeah.
really well made from those guys, and that price point is
Not so bad if you're
actually
thinking
pretty
about.
impressive.
Yeah, it's actually pretty impressive for what this is, which is a very high-end AR trigger. And then you also have, I mean, when you compare it to some of the other options, this is going to be kind of interesting. I do like how it is, again, sort of that hybrid trigger bow, kind of that curve and the flat.
I believe this is the flat
Okay, yeah,
version.
because you do have a mostly flat trigger bow right here. You have that, but then you also do have some curves here at the bottom that could make it easier to index if you're, kind of into that. So yeah, I mean, the reason that you would pick this over, something else, I think, might be that price point.
Yeah, our curved bow would look kind of like, can't show that. Our curved one would kind of look like that. Let's make sure that we're being careful with how we show that.
Yeah.
But the curved one is a little different. So this is technically the flat, and then there is a curved option as well.
Right.
What do you say we test this guy?
Yeah, sure. Let's give it a whirl.
Give it a little whirly whirl. All right, so we're gonna start at the top of the trigger, and we're about 5.1 pounds at the very top.
Which, to be fair, almost no one's pulling it up at the top.
You shouldn't be. And then we'll pull it kind of in the middle, which is where you really want to be when you're pulling the trigger. We're at 2.15. Let's do one more in the middle there. So we got 3. I was a little higher. And then we'll go all the way down to the bottom of the curve here. and your knuckles in the way. Got about 2.1, so about 2.1, 2.1.
Yeah.
Not too bad.
No, absolutely. I think this is a really nice, smooth trigger, good internals. Again, lifetime warranty on everything. And then you have, I mean, you have just the expertise of Triggertech and you know, kind of the brand stability of Radian, all these things. Like, if you got a Radian, you know, charging handle, a lot of people like those, you know, you might want to pick up a Radian trigger as well. You know, Radian and Triggertech trigger, obviously.
You just want to Radian out.
Yeah, you just want to Radian out your whole gun. I do like Radian as a brand. I mean, like, they kind of feel like they're trying to be that modern sort of Apple-y sort of brand of
everything they do
gun industry.
In my experience is super high end.
Right.
They don't. In my experience with Radian, they don't make bad stuff. It's a lot like a BCM or a Daniel Defense or a Geisley. Like, they just make good stuff. But they're most known for, obviously, their charging handles. And obviously, guys, these are 3 higher end triggers. So this is, we're talking to people that are looking at spending a little bit more money on their trigger to really increase the overall feel and performance of their rifle. There are a ton of really, really solid triggers out there in like the $100 to $150 range.
Yeah, even less.
Even
so the
down
$70
at like,
to $80 to $60 range, $60 to $80 range. Great triggers.
If you're in that price ballpark, I mean, there's a lot of really good options out there for you. I mean, the Rave 140, probably the king of value, in my opinion. You've got LaRue. They've got some triggers that are in like the
so
$80
many
to
people have
$115
gotten
range.
their first trigger upgrade. It was a LaRue trigger. And it's not a bad way to go for your first trigger upgrade.
I mean, a lot of guys would probably say LaRue's as far as you need to go.
Absolutely. Yeah. If you're shooting less than 1,000 rounds a year or something like that, you know, if you're shooting the 500 to 800 rounds a year, whatever it is, I mean, that's probably the way to go. Is what I would say.
I just can't get over how well made this trigger is.
Pretty lightweight as well. We didn't throw any of these on the scale. It's not usually something you have to worry about. I would say the GOAT is probably the heaviest, followed by the 535, followed by that one. And if you're trying to save weight, that's another thing you might want to consider too. These are larger components of the gun, actually, and so they do add some weight if you're going with these complex internals.
If I was going to upgrade one thing that required as little tool work as possible, it would be the trigger.
100%.
If we're going past that, I'm gonna look at like the bolt carrier group or your barrel. But the bolt carrier group's super easy upgrade, but probably not a huge performance increase that you're going to notice.
If you want to change the feel of your gun, make it feel better, going from like a mil-spec trigger to something like this, wow.
I think I've told this story before, but back a couple years ago, I was in Sweetwater with a buddy of mine, Jerry. He goes by the name Dan. Is his real name, but we were at the range and we were shooting it. And Jerry is a guy that's got a lot of very expensive firearms, and then I've got quite a few also rather expensive firearms. You know that I don't like to skimp money on guns when I buy them.
We're very different when it comes to that.
Yeah. So we're out there shooting, and I've got the Mark 18, and he's got like an MP5, like an actual HK MP5, and we're shooting. And these 2 young guys come rocking up, probably 19, 20 years old. We're at the gun club, and they were kind of like avoiding us. I think they were afraid that we were going to judge them because he had like a PSA 15 that he might have got like at a gun show or something. He had kind of like rattle canned it poorly. He didn't watch your video on rattle canning, obviously. But they were kind of like avoiding us. They wouldn't shoot unless we were in the other base shooting pistols because he and I were kind of like playing a gun game, trying to see who could draw and shoot the fastest. But they would only shoot when we were over doing that. When we came back, they kind of just were standing there and like looking a little bit embarrassed by their setup. So on the way out, I decided to talk to him because I don't like people to like kind of feel like they don't belong in the gun space. So I'm talking to him, and they're trying to like get this Holosun Ames sighted in. That's what they're trying to do, but they don't have the tool to do it. They forgot it. Like, I just happen to have one in my range bag. So I went and got it out of my range bag. I got to talk to him, and then they wanted to shoot my Mark 18, so I let him shoot my Mark 18. He's like, "Oh, you want to shoot my PSA?" I'm like, "Yeah, let's do it." So I shot it. It wasn't a great experience, but the one thing I noticed about his setup, it's probably like a $250, maybe $300 rifle altogether, was his trigger was awful. It felt cheap. And that is the only thing about the gun that I remember is that the trigger felt bad. So if you want to greatly improve the performance or the way that your rifle feels, it's just like you said. The one thing people are going to remember forever about your rifle when you shoot it, and the one thing that you're going to remember about your rifle when you shoot it is, how did the trigger feel when I pulled it? So keep that in mind.
Spend the money on the good trigger, guys. It is worth it.
If you're doing one upgrade, take your $30 mil-spec trigger, this guy, and upgrade it to, get like an $80 nickel Teflon.
Doesn't have to be these, but I mean, if you save some money over time, you could absolutely get one of these, and it's going to make a world of difference.
Well, guys, this is a new format that we're trying, so go ahead and head down to the description if you want to get an email article about all of this stuff. Just hit us up down there, shoot us your email. We'll send you all the information about these in one easy to find spot. But otherwise, we'll see you next Monday. I think we're going to come back maybe with some punches or something. We'll see what happens. What do you think, CJ?
Yeah, I think that sounds good.
We'll see you there. Thanks, guys.